I look like an egghead. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Muphidaht and I would like it if you click down below to subscribe to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys product placement, where and how to put a product on your face, and exactly how you want to blend it out to get the best way or the best results out of what you're doing, how to get your face to look the best with the makeup that you have at your disposal. So grab your makeup product and let's get right into this tutorial, shall we? So starting off, I'm gonna just do my brows quickly and get them out of the way. I have a detailed brow tutorial on my channel, so if you're interested in watching that, I would link that above for you guys to see. But for the meantime, I'm just using my Evita brow gel to lay my eyebrow hairs down so I can go ahead and sculpt them and fill them in. Going in with my usual MAC concealer palette. I'm going in with the shade NT45 to clean the bottom part of my brows. I'm going in with my Evita eyebrow pencil to fill my brows in. Going back in with my concealer palette in the shade NT50 to clean the top part of my brows. Going in to blend out the top of my brow. And then going in with a light layer of powder to set that concealer down. Before starting off your base, you need to make sure your skin is moisturized. If you're going out during the day, you need to apply your sunscreen before going in to start your makeup. This is my go-to moisturizer, the Stratia Liquid Gold. Remember to always apply moisturizer, especially if your skin is oily or dry, because you don't want your skin to feel uncomfortable under makeup and crack if you have dry skin, and you don't want your skin to overcompensate with oil just because you lack moisture on your skin if you have oily skin. The next step is primer. Always apply primer before you go in with your base. I am a believer in primer because I've seen how my makeup looks with primer versus without primer, and I definitely prefer how my skin looks with primer. I really love this one from e.l.f. It's affordable and it's a dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip primer. It just helps the makeup to stick onto your skin, and it helps with the general longevity of your makeup. So definitely go in to get a primer that will work for your skin. See, it has a grip to it, so definitely when you apply your foundation or skin tint or whatever you want to apply on your skin, it's gonna stick to it. So after applying your primer, the next step is to apply your foundation or tinted moisturizer or concealer, you know, whatever you want to do for that day. I'm going to be using my Fenty Beauty Skin Tint. I'm in the shade 18, so I really like this for a lighter base. However, if you want to go for a more full coverage look, definitely definitely reach for a foundation that's gonna give you more coverage on your skin. Pick and choose what works for you at that point in time. Next step, you want to go in with a damp sponge or a brush to blend out your foundation or skin tint or whatever it is that you applied. I like to use brushes and sponges in combination, so I'm going to show you guys how I do that. So I start off with blending out my foundation with my brush, using soft tapping motions so that the foundation doesn't have streaks in it, so that it gives me the best coverage that it can and it would blend out more evenly on my skin. I'm using the Seamless Complexion brush from Real Techniques. After blending out my foundation with my brush, what I like to do is to go in with a sponge, the butt of the sponge, and I just bounce it all over my skin to blend it out some more. So if you use a sponge, you can just blend out your foundation with your sponge. If you use a brush, you can just use your brush to blend it out. But like I said, I always prefer using the two because it works so well for me. This might be a lot for some people. They wouldn't have the time on their hands to do both. Pick and choose what works for you. So we are moving on to the sculpting, highlighting, blush application phase. I know this is a little bit tricky for some people, so we're going to take it step by step. First of all, if you are not good at doing this, I need you to apply your contour first so that you see exactly where to apply it. I'm going to use my stick foundation from Juvias Place in the shade Sokoto. You want to apply that on your temples here, on your forehead, on your cheekbone, not below your cheekbone, on your cheekbone, because when you're about to blend it out, the product tends to move all over the place, and what you want to do is to give yourself a facelift with the makeup. I'm gonna apply that here as well. For the sides of the bridge of the nose, I always suggest to have the softest nose contour is to apply it right underneath your eyebrows, and not to drag it down the sides of the bridge of your nose, because when you're blending out the product, it's gonna look harsher. So you want to apply just a little bit of product here on the sides of the bridge of your nose, close to your eyebrow, so when you're blending it out, you just drag it down and it looks softer at the end of the day. Personally, I don't like to apply product on my jawline just because it looks muddy, but for the tutorial's sake, I'm gonna show you guys where to apply that. So what you want to do is to apply that here, here, and here, and that's literally where you're going to apply your contour product. So we're gonna start out with blending out the contour. First off, I'm using my contour brush from Real Techniques. I really love this brush to blend out my contour just because it gives me the most seamless blend. Again, you can go ahead and blend out with your sponge or a brush. I prefer to use both. Not everyone has the time or the luxury to use both a brush and a sponge, so do what works for you. I'm gonna start off with blending out what's on my forehead. I'm gonna blend that into my hairline so that when the skin on my temples or my hairline kind of merges into the foundation on my face, there's not like a line of demarcation and it doesn't look like I'm wearing some sort of mask on my face. What we're trying to do is mimic the natural contours of the face. I know it's makeup, there's nothing natural about it, I get that, but we are trying to mimic it. We're trying to make it work, sis. So yeah, just work with me here. I have a little bit more forehead than most people do, so if you don't have a lot of forehead like me, definitely apply less products on your forehead. So for the cheekbone, what you want to do is to blend it upward. So you see it's moved down. If we had applied it way lower, it would have gone way lower. For the jawline, you want to go upwards as well. So the next step is to apply cream blush. I'm going to be using the Rare Beauty liquid blush in the shade Lucky. What you want to do is to take your product and apply that above the contour on the apples of your cheeks, so here. But you're not bringing it all the way down here because again, you're going to blend it out and you don't want it to move all over your cheekbone. You're gonna do the same here. You want to apply that upwards as well. If you're going to use a sponge, you can just, you know, tap on the product and blend that into it. If you're using your brush as well, you just tap on your product and blend that into your skin. I'm using my e.l.f. blush brush. I'm gonna start off blending this side. As you can see, I am using soft tapping motions. As you can see, the product has reached the apple of my cheek. When you are blending out, the product spreads out, so it's always better to apply it a little bit above where it's supposed to be, so when you're blending it out, it doesn't look crazy. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this out as well. You want to blend upwards, just like so. So with highlights, what you want to do is to apply a little bit in here and here, and a little bit here, here, the bridge of the nose and the forehead. Again, you can go ahead and blend it out with a sponge or a brush. I like to use the brush. This is my Color Box CB15 brush, so I'm gonna go ahead and start blending because this concealer dries down so fast. This is when I like to go in with my sponge, and I'm gonna go under my eyes first to pick up any excesses and blend out the concealer some more. I know it looks crazy, but it's gonna look good in a sec. I'm just going over where I apply the concealer on my skin. So you realize that the concealer just softens the blush all together. So that's what we are going for. So if you feel like applying all the products at once on your face is gonna look crazy, you can just go ahead and apply that step by step. So what we're gonna do is to go back in with the foundation brush with no extra products and blend out any harsh lines all over the face. And go back in with the contour brush to blend out where we apply the contour. We're not going in with any extra products. We are literally just using what is left on the brush. And last but not the least, we're gonna go ahead and blend out the nose contour. I'm using my Patrick Ta nose contour brush. This brush is definitely on the more expensive side, so please find something cheaper. You just need a brush that slants this way, and you can use that to blend out your nose contour. You want to go back in with your sponge, squeeze that sponge and bounce it on the sides of the bridge of the nose just to soften everything out. And there you have a very soft nose contour. So I'm going in with my Huda Beauty Easy Bake Powder in the shade Blondie. And before I go ahead and set my under eye area, I'm gonna go back in with my brush and, you know, just iron out any creases. When you're about to set, definitely set the areas that crease first. My powder puff is literally falling apart. I'm gonna go in with the powder puff. I'm gonna dip into the powder and I'm gonna spread it evenly on the surface of the puff, and I'm gonna go ahead and push that under my eyes just to set that area, because like I said, those areas crease up first on me. So for the next step, to set your entire face, because obviously if you applied cream or liquids to your skin, you definitely have to set them down with powder so they don't slip and slide on your face, so they don't melt away, so that your makeup looks good for the most part of the day. Pressed powder to set to your face. I always suggest pressed powder that is close to your skin tone, because you want to maintain all the work that you've done on your face. So the highlighting, the contouring, you don't want to use a powder that is way lighter than, you know, way darker than you to set your entire face. Otherwise your face is gonna look flat. So what you want to do is to use a powder that is close to your skin tone, and you want to set the areas right below the contour, right here, your chin, around your mouth, your forehead, areas in between the contour and the highlight. So you just want to push a light layer of powder there. So the next step is to set your cream contour that you applied earlier. Contour and bronzer are both darker products that you use on your face to create shadows and to sculpt your face. Contour is darker and more cool toned, and it gives a harsher, stronger sculpt. The bronzer is on the warmer side and it's a little bit closer to the skin tone, and it gives a little bit of warmth to the skin. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense, but I hope it does. I hope it does, child. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply my Charlotte Tilbury bronzer. As you can see, the bronzer is, closer to my skin tone. It gives me a little bit of warmth. So what you want to do is to pick up your product, tap off the excess, and you just want to go over your hairline and temples. Also, you want to apply that here, right on your cheekbone. You want to do that here as well, on your chin and jawline area, just to set that down, and you're good to go. I'm going to use the same bronzer to set my nose contour. I'm going back in with a brush, and I'm just going to go over where I applied my nose contour. Very light-handed, of course. Blend it into your eyebrow, and then bring it down the sides of the bridge of the nose, and you're good to go. For eye makeup, I'm not gonna be doing the most. I'm just gonna go in with this color from my Mario palettes, just this brown shade, and I'm gonna put that all over my eyelids. As you can see, I didn't apply any product on my eyelids, so I'm literally just going over, my natural eyelid shade, just to enhance it. So it looks like this. This is what I like to do on most days, just because I feel like it just gives me like a really natural brown smoky eye look, which I love. I'm gonna go on my lower lash line with the same brown color, just to bring the entire look together. I'm also gonna draw like a line on my lash line just cause I want to apply falsies. I'm also gonna create a tiny wing. I'm gonna go ahead and tight line. So this step that I like to take is not for everyone, but I like to use a pressed powder to kind of enhance the highlighted look on my under eye. I like to use my pressed powder from Charlotte Tilbury. I'm going to show you guys how I make this work. So I go in with my powder puff and I pat the excess at the back of my hand. I just push it right under my eye. And I'm gonna go in with my brush that I used to apply my powder, and I'm gonna blend in the edges and the sides. And for blush, I'm gonna use my Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Cheek to Chic Intense. I'm gonna apply that with my blush brush from ELF. I'm gonna just, swirl that in here. What you want to do is to apply that here, the line in between this light powder and the mixture of the blush and the bronzer. So I'm gonna just apply that there. So you're just stippling that on. And that's it. So I'm gonna just set my face. To apply highlighter on my face, I always do it after I set my face because my face is a little bit tacky and it would just, you know, let the highlighter melt into my skin. So what you need is to get a brush like this. You see, this brush is fluffy, right? And it's not very dense, so it's easy to control. It's a Morphe brush. All it says is Morphe, but it looks like this. This is another Morphe brush. This is the bigger brush that we're going to be using to apply on the high points of the cheekbones. This is a Morphe M510 brush. Fluffy, it will pick up less product and, you know, blend it out. So what you want to do is to take your smaller brush and dip into your highlighter. I'm using my Wet n Wild highlighter. I'm gonna just put it on the tip of my nose. I'm gonna put that here, like right at the end of my eyebrow, so like here. Next thing is to apply highlighter in your inner corners. This is gonna elevate your makeup and make it look like you did a lot to your makeup. Like, look at the difference. In my opinion, if this is too much for you, please don't do this. Just skip this step. Please don't be in the comments saying this is too much for me. I know, girl, it's not for everyone, so it's completely fine. Next step is to apply highlighter onto the high points of your brow bone, and for the high points of the cheeks, you want to pick up your brush and just dip in here, tap off the excess and apply that here, so right over here. So you're going to connect that with the highlight on your brow bone above the apples of your cheeks, and you want to bring it down here. So after you apply that, don't go back in for more products, just blend it out like this. You want to connect that here, so when the light hits it, it just looks good. It just looks good. So first off, you want to apply your lip liner here on top of your Cupid's bow, and you want to put it right below, and the rest of the line you're going to just follow the natural shape of your lip. I'm gonna go in with a brush to blend out the lip liner. You're gonna blend it down into your lip. So it looks softer, and what you can do is to just smack your lips together, right? So it just gives a softer line on the lips. So I'm going to use my butter gloss in the shade Vanilla Cream Pie from NYX. Always apply mascara after you set your face. I'm using the L'Oreal Telescopic Mascara. So we've come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you guys learned something new. I hope this was easy to follow. I definitely enjoyed creating this look. I really like how it turned out, and I think you guys would do too. So if you did enjoy this video, kindly give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I'll see you guys in my next one. Take care, guys. Bye.